Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Sober Brittany, over and out. Can you hear me? Hey y'all, it's your girl Bad on BB here. Raise your hands if you are 14 days sober. Yes, it is I, the Sober Clover, your auntie, the best one on YouTube. And I am definitely wanted to give you guys a halfway point update, okay? If you watched my last video, you know that I am taking a 30-day fast from alcohol known as No Drink November, and I am in the restaurant industry where it is quite accurate to say we drink professionally. And I mean breakfast with drink, wine tastings before your work, and drinks after work, which lead to drinks after the drinks you had after work. And drinks, I mean, you can have your wine tastings, and then you can have at the end of the night your shifty, which is your manager allowing you to have some beer or some wine or an adult beverage before you go home. And then after that, this is when you do stuff like go to the local pubs and have another drink, or your bartender friend got another bartender friend, they want you to come to their spot, then you get more drinks and you're getting industry discounts and more other stuff. And it's just a lot. It's a lot of drinking in the restaurant industry. And see, that's exactly why I decided I needed to get my mind straight, make sure I had my discipline on focus, because my dreams and goals go beyond an industry. It goes beyond a job. It goes beyond anything. You guys know that I am about holistic health. That means mind, body, soul. There are times you got to be sober to reach new heights. And so I'm mainly feeling at the 14-day mark just super powerful, because it seems like the more and more people, especially people in the industry that I talk to, that I tell them like, hey, I've been not drinking for 14 days and I've been going to work and everything. They're like, whoa, you better than me. You strong, you know, because it really is a superpower, especially in the industry. And even before this, being in the restaurant industry, it's like, I worked in a trading firm where they had beer kegs in the office, and on the weekends they had beer keg happy hours. And even the term happy hour, like I knew where so many happy hours were downtown just because there was all these discounts, foods, discounted drinks made for the 9-to-5er. And as soon as they get off, they get an hour where they can get discounted food there for dinner, be in a vibe, meet up with coworkers and other people that worked in the area. And then they can go their butts back home to whatever lifestyle they lived after that. And I just realized so much of the work culture just revolves around alcohol. And this fast to me is just a representation of just like being able to be amongst the crowd, but not have to follow it. And for me, I'm just like feeling really good about the state of my mental, and I've been getting a lot of good feedback from the people who know that I'm doing this on the state of my mental. So with that being said, how has it been going? How have I been doing it? I know that if you're watching this video, you're probably like, dang girl, I want to do that too, or curious about doing it. I'll say what helped me first is just like mentally preparing myself before. Like I said, No Drink November is November 1st. The week before, I was telling everybody, or 2 weeks probably before, I was telling all my coworkers and friends like, yo, I'm doing No Drink November. Like I'm just chilling, you know, because this is my last drink right here before No Drink November. So when you tell the world, they'll hold you accountable. But, you know, most of the people that you've been drinking with ain't really gonna hold you accountable. They like, dang, man, that's crazy. Good luck with that. Some of my friends was like that. They was like, man, I'm gonna drink one for you for No Drink November. How about that? Literally. But I really had my heart set on it. So I told people and I prepared my mind before that. Now, during the first week, going a day or two on the weekend when you're off of work, that wasn't really hard for me. But when you get to work and, you start being in the wine tasting group and stuff like that, it just was, you have to get out of the habit of like sipping the wine. Like I just sniffed my wine. I came up with my smelling notes for the wine, and I just passed the wine on to somebody else who would want to drink the wine that I wasn't drinking. And I only could do that because I have somebody in my restaurant who doesn't drink, and that's what they do. So I was just like, me and you, we're accountability buddies. So that helped. Also at work, I had to know my triggers. When I deal with stressful situations, I had to like acknowledge that this is what's going on. This is why you want a drink. A drink is not going to make this situation better. And not put myself in a situation after I was already triggered to possibly take a drink. Especially where most of my coworkers is more like, hey, screw that, get a drink. Drink won't kill you. They're not wrong, but it's just my mind wasn't set to do that. So when I felt like I was triggered and I knew my trigger and I addressed my trigger mentally, I took my butt home. I went right home after work. I did not pass, go, collect 200. I went home.
Oh, okay.
And one day in particular, which my 7th day, which is the worst day, because the Sundays at where I work are literally just when, you know how the freaks come out at night? The freaks come out on Sunday at my job, okay? So it was just rough, okay? And I was so triggered, and it happened at the end of the night. Like I practically ran out. I was so stressed. Everybody knew I was stressed. I just practically ran out and I went home, and I made like a funny little reel about how I felt and how drained I was. And I went home. But guess what? I made it through 7 days not drinking. And then I started to do this. I found a community of people online for more tips to help me get through to reach my goal of going 30 days without drinking. So I was looking up 30-day tips for going 30 days without drinking, and I found this podcast from this community called Club Soda. And it's literally a community of people who are either completely sober, they chose a sober lifestyle, or they are mindful drinkers. These are people who really set up those mental boundaries for themselves, which is essentially what I want to do. So I found this podcast, and then I found they had a group for free on Facebook. So I'm like, I want to join. And, I got to chat with people about what I'm doing and get feedback. And I felt like really supported from people, even if it's online. Like, you guys know I'm cool with online communities. It ain't no community without the you and the I. Matter of fact, you should be subscribed right now if you just peep that, okay? But it's like, it was great that I was getting tips. I was getting high fives virtually from people who were doing the same thing or trying to. So I found that. And then the next thing I knew, I was 9 days sober. I watched a couple YouTube videos on people who have done a 30-day alcohol fast as well and saw how they did it. And, I've definitely started learning to substitute some things. Like my bartender in particular, she's really great with mocktails. They even put some really great mocktails on the menu, and they make mocktails for me after work. So I'm not drinking alcohol like everybody else. And I get to be social. I look to my left and right. Everybody has a beverage. Everybody's chatting and have a good time. But my drink doesn't have alcohol in it. So I don't feel like I'm missing a beat. And I even was able to go to one of my local pubs where I always get free drinks from the bartender because they love us. And I just had club soda and lime, and I was socializing like I was like nothing changed. So I really felt like I achieved some goals. Just inspired me to look up new things. Like I want to try spiritless, alcohol-free wine and all these type of things, because I realized it's 2022. It's a lot of people out here that are just going, for whatever reason, want to try different things, alcohol-free things. And I'm like, that is so awesome. So I'm just like, the creativity keeps my mind going to like, what's next? What's next? And so I went to a restaurant today and I sat at the bar. I was solo dolo and I tried some alcohol-free drinks there. And I told the bartender there, you know, that I'm ministry and that I'm doing no drink November. So, you know, I just want the non-alcoholic options. And we talked about that. And he even introduced me to this term called sober curious. And I was like, what the heck is sober curious? You guys know it's an actual term for people like me, I guess, who are just inquiring on mindful drinking or sobriety in general from alcohol. And I didn't even know that till he told me that. So I'm just like, wow, I'm in a new category now because of me just wanting to do a fast, which goes to show you, I'm like, dang, is not drinking really a superpower, or is it a weird thing like that for real? I don't know. But when I look at it, I can't think of a day that I, since being in the industry for real, that I mindfully chose to not drink. So I guess I am kind of radical in that sense. So this is pretty much my update. I'm going to catch y'all in the end of this 30 days. In the meantime, in between time, it is your girl, Bad Aunt BB, over and out.